Lynn. I hope you're keeping really well. Now in this video I'm going to share with you what happened to my cactus, my bawsy cactus, or Cleistocactus, whatever way you want to call it. Now obviously this is actually cutting that I did a couple of years ago. It's actually off my big bawsy cactus, the one that has the most beautiful flowers, a bawsy cactus aureispinus. And actually did a cutting from it, and it rooted really well, and as you can see it grew right over the pot like that. But anyway, a few days ago I noticed it was sort of wobbling a bit out of its pot, so when I inspected more it actually just fell out. Look, there's a massive hole there, and the weirdest thing is obviously it's rotted, but luckily this cactus can be saved. Now I'll just show you actually what's actually, look at this guys, isn't it bizarre? The actual going all the way through, obviously the fibres all the way through the plant. It's actually like mesh, it's actually like material, it's quite remarkable. Anyway, the good news is I'm going to be able to treat this plant as a cutting, simply by just cutting it there and treating it with a bit of sulphur powder. And because it's gone a bit unruly, I'm going to also take another cutting there, treat it as well, let the two parts dry over a good few weeks, and then pop them up and treat it as a completely different cutting again. So if this happens to your cactus, not to panic. I have done a video on this probably a few months back now. Help, my cactus is rotting, what can I do? And I go into a bit more detail there, so I won't go into that much detail here. I'll put the links down below to that video, but I'm just going to show you what I'm going to be doing in this case. So let's get cutting, guys. Now obviously before you start to cut, make sure that you use a knife that is completely sterilised, and also the cutting board that's sterilised. This cutting board actually is just for gardening and for doing cuttings on, and always make sure I treat it with boiling water, the same as with the knife, to get rid of any bugs, because when you're cutting into flesh it can spread bacteria and fungi like anything. So really make sure you're using clean equipment here. And I'm going to go and cut this boy here. Now obviously I'd recommend using gloves, because when it comes to handling prickly plants like this, you want to get cut. Now, can't put gloves on this one because I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand and cut with the other. So it is a bit funny here, guys, but anyway, you want to make sure you cut well above the rot, as in this case good over here like so. Cut right into it. Tough old beam, this one. That's it. And make sure you get rid of all the rot. As you can see there, it's all clean. Put that part away, and then check that it's all clean inside, no bits of rot. Now there's a little bit of I don't like the look of that there in the corner, so again I'm going to cut a little bit more away to make sure there's no bits of rot. Straight cut like so. That looks a lot better. If you get any tiny bits of brown, always make sure you cut back so it's completely clear, because all you need is a tiny bit of brown in the corner, and that's rock spread. As you can see, nice and clear there, just like a cucumber, doesn't it? Now because it's grown obviously unruly over its time, I'm going to treat this, because with bawsy cactus and Cleistocactus obviously you can easily take cuttings of them, and they root like anything, which is great. So the narrowest point there, I'm going to cut that also. So again, hold the cactus, straight cut, straight across like so. Nice clean cut, nice clean cut. And then what I'm going to do then is treat these with sulphur powder. I always recommend using sulphur powder, guys, because it doesn't matter how much you let your plant dry out, it can still rot, and moulds can still form. And I've had terrible experience over the years when I've been taking cuttings that, although I always let them dry out in a dry place, I still sometimes find I get accustomed to moulds and stuff like that. So the sulphur powder is just fantastic. And all you need to do here is I always empty a bit of sulphur powder in the container and then dab it in like so. Make sure it's completely covered. A little bit more like that. There you go. And then the next one. Reminds me of the old sherbet you used to get years ago. I don't know whether you used to have them, what country you used to live in. We used to get the old sherbet dips, but I won't want to eat this, mind you. That's it, all completely covered. And then what I'd recommend then is keeping them in a dry place, obviously away from too much light, because you don't want them drying up too quickly. that's it. Just make sure all the pieces are done. And then they should callus over in a few weeks, and then when they've completely callused over, I'm going to pop them up and treat them as cuttings, and they'll form new roots and form new little plants. So there you go, guys. Send you loads of love and loads of happiness as always from Ireland, and until the next video.